This is the enthusiasm I like.
When they like do the vomit, when you see it, I'm always like, what is that? What is that? Have you ever had to do
I vomited a whole human being in my last movie.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations on everything you've accomplished and everything coming your way. I can't wait to celebrate it all with you.
Thank you.
I just needed to take a breath and know that the 20 plus years that I had under my belt doing theater and, you know, guest star roles and co-star roles, they're gonna keep me good as Alberta.
Comedy is, for some reason, people are like, you can't do it. So it was very nice to get the chance to do it.
You just seem like a real fan in like you love movies and you like your job, and it's so nice to see.
I appreciate that so much.
You're welcome.
So much. Now you have to answer the question.
And what did I do? A good job?
Yeah.
I really like the scene where I stabbed that man in the head.
Oh, hang on.
See how much love everybody puts into the characters and how much dedication and hard work and how much everyone truly, truly cares, not just about their characters, but the project and the movie as a whole.
I remember being on stage and being like, this feels nice.
It's impossible not to want to be Danielle's friend. Like, she's just got this sort of gravity to her, and she's a lovely person.
That changed my life to see that many Black people, you know, just being so professional and just bringing me to tears with the story. In that moment, I remember being like this, and I was just bawling. I was like, oh, I gotta do this.
Everyone. You are in the best possible place right now in this entire convention. I can assure you that, because we're gonna have a wonderful time, you're gonna meet some wonderful people, and you're gonna get to see some first look footage that no one else is seeing from Peacemaker, and I might have peeped those clips, they're really good. Proper introduction now, I'm Perry Nemiroff, and I host Collider Ladies Night. The show has been my baby since 2019. Last year, we were lucky enough to get to do our very first live show right here at San Diego Comic-Con, thanks to wonderful people like Katie O'Brien, Melissa Barrera, and Erica Henningsen. And I adore them all. They are impossibly kind and talented people, and they were a big reason why we got to do last year's show at all. And now I'm lucky enough to add 4 more people to that list today, and I can't wait to introduce you to all of them. All right, first up here, you likely saw her on the iconic Netflix series, Orange is the New Black, but since she's become a Tony and Academy Award nominee, please welcome the star of Peacemaker and the Bad Guys 2, Danielle Brooks. Come closer, come closer.
Okay.
There. Thank you for the assist.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, next up is someone who has been going up and up and up in the superhero genre. She first introduced Amelia Harcourt in 2021's The Suicide Squad. And now the character is a full-blown leader and an absolute force in Peacemaker. Say hello to Jennifer Holland. I am a fan of many, many shows, but this particular one, I always say, puts a smile on my face faster than any other. And I think the same is true of the ensemble. Every time I get to talk to them, the cast is just filled with people who are super talented and have big hearts, including the person that I'm about to welcome to the stage right now. Say hello to Ghost star Danielle Pinnock. And finally, I love, love, love Wicked. It was my #1 movie of 2024, and my God, a feature debut in that film of all films. You deserve it, and I cannot wait to see you soar even more from here. Please say hello to Marissa Bode. The 3 of you have been on a proper ladies' night. Actually, things have changed quite a bit. I don't know if Dicey Questions existed when maybe you were on, Danielle, and we're gonna get you in the studio at some point to play the full show on your own, but everybody out there knows, first order of business on Collider Ladies Night is playing Dicey Questions. I've got 6 random questions here. You're gonna get 2 rolls, and whatever you roll, that's just what we start with. And I'm gonna give these honors to the audience. Does anyone want to roll? Hey, come right up here and get the die. All right. Just roll it across the floor. Let's see what we get.
I can't see nothing. No.
What do we got? Number 1? Also good. This is my new favorite question. This one we're calling everyday things. I want to know the seemingly simple everyday thing that a human being does that is the most difficult to replicate on set as an actor. The examples I always give are things like fake sneezing, fake waking up, fake driving.
This is a dicey question.
It could be.
I'm gonna go with fake swimming. Someone laughing in the back because he knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, fake swimming. Trying to act like you can swim when you really can't is just, that's very challenging.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. There's so many things that you'd think, since I am a human being, I would just be able to do as an actor when I'm playing a human being. But I don't know. I think, it's probably, for me, maybe it's all the fight choreography and stuff I have to do. I have to pretend like I'm a really proficient, fighter. And I'm not in real life. I don't try to murder people in my real life, so that's it.
I hope you don't.
You sell it real well.
I would have to say it's between eating, if you're not actually eating something, because I feel like I'm always just overdoing it. I'm like, it's something in my cavities, something like, it's just like, I'm just doing too much. But I would say for ghosts specifically, because we are ghosts, we walk through a lot of walls and doors, and the simplest thing of just walking and trying to match it, and they're like, you could just walk regular, Danielle. We've been doing this for 5 years, and I'm like, I just want to give y'all a little extra flair of this day. So walking through doors for sure, yeah.
Well, let me bring this closer. Well, you took mine, because I was also going to say eating.
You're so right. It's eating. I mean, first of all, who wants to eat? You have to do whatever you're doing on screen 8,000 times. You don't want to eat that much food in one sitting, so you have to pretend.
Yeah, have to pretend, and then also, like, the placement of the food on the plate and, like, different takes, like, continuity, all of that. Yeah.
What is the best meal you've all ever eaten on screen for a movie or a show?
Oh my gosh.
It was the only follow-up question I had there. I had to ask.
First of all, I'm happy to be here. I just have to say that. This is my first Comic-Con. I made it. Thank you, James Gunn. So I'm really happy to be here. But to answer your question, the best food, I don't think I've ever had the best food because, I spent 7 years in Orange is the New Black, and they really kind of were method there with prison food, So I think I have so much trauma from that I don't have any good memories of any good food on set. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever eaten anything good on set. I think the best thing I ever ate on set might be in season 1 of Peacemaker. It's the episode where we're sitting outside of the Goff residence, staking out the residence, and John Cena's character and I are sitting there like, sort of, it's downtime in between, staking out the house, and we're chatting, and I think they offered me some sort of a sandwich or something like that to eat. So I was just kind of like picking at a sandwich. It might have been like a turkey sandwich, which is not so bad. You don't want to eat like a fancy meal on set.
No, you
It's
don't.
gross. It's not good. They've reheated a few times. They're like taking it out of like a to-go container and putting it onto a plate. It's not good.
Danielle, I was feeling like I have to rephrase the question for you. 'Cause you're not allowed to eat on Ghost. You could just smell
No, we
the
can't
food.
eat, but I will say as an actor, and the art department always gets me, because Ukarshan Bukhar plays a chef on the show, and it's a lot of farm-to-table cooking, and the food is actually really good. And I, as a ghost, I'm not supposed to eat, but sometimes Danielle gets hungry. And so sometimes in between takes, I may take a little piece of roti, and I'm like, ooh, this little apple. And they're like, girl, the continuity's about to be a mess. Why is there a bite in this apple? What is going on? And so, yeah, sometimes I take little bites here and there when I'm not supposed to. But the food is good.
I don't blame you. It looks
that
good.
food is good.
What you got for us, Marissa?
Honestly, well, Wicked's my first big girl project. So honestly, because it's my first big girl project, there hasn't been too many projects I've been in where I'm eating food. I mean, I've grown up doing theater, and I'm sure there was like plastic food, and obviously that doesn't taste good. But yeah, I don't think there was really any scenes with food that I was in for Wicked.
The time will come in your career, and now you have the pro tips.
When it does,
you know exactly
I'll probably
what to
be.
do.
If it looks delicious, I am but a girl who loves to eat, and I will be nibbling.
Oh,
for
I don't
sure.
blame you. I respect that so much. All right, who wants to do the second roll? I see a hand. That hand shot up so fast.
It's also sparkly, so I feel like
Sparkles are good.
that
Yes. You look amazing.
Look at the hair. Look at
You
the
look
outfit.
amazing.
So are
wins.
you.
Yeah, so are you.
All right, what is it? All right, you get a second roll. Bonus for you. We got two. Two's another good one. 2 is scene swap. If you could each swap roles with another actor in your respective ensemble, just to try one specific scene of theirs, who would you choose and why?
Vigilante. I do. I don't even know. Do I need to explain why? I don't know. He's so funny, and also I think I can do an American accent better than Freddie Stroma. So it's just such a cool character. He's like this funny, murderous man. I would love to do that.
A+ answer.
If we're gender swapping, I would say probably Fiero, just because I think it'd be fun to play someone very suave, but also he has so many layers to him, so I think that would be fun to add in subtle ways, which Jonathan Bailey obviously does that so well already, but I think it would be really fun to take on.
Oh, I'm here for that.
Devin Long plays a Viking on our show named Thorfinn, and he is probably one of my favorite ghosts. Please do not tell my cast, because that Viking screams all the time, and I just love it. And there's this scene where he's talking about Jay making ram testicles, and he's like, "Can you make a ram testicle masala?" And like he's just screaming at the top of the lungs, and I'm like, this is exactly who I would swap roles with.
If only ghosts could do possession episodes
With each other? Are you kidding? That's who I would want.
I feel like we could invent that role somehow.
Come on, Joe Porn, Joe Wiseman. Let's get together for season 5. I'm ready to play Thorfinn. Okay.
Danielle, what you got for us?
So for me, there's this extra that we have in Peacemaker called Peacemaker. I would love to switch places with John Cena, just because the outfit. I mean, you know, Adebayo does not get to put on the spandex.
You got to wear the helmet.
I did get to wear the helmet. So that's why when it comes to like what scene I would actually want to steal one of her scenes because her fight scenes are so epic. Like, second season, you really kicked ass. Yeah, she really did.
I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to show the clip too. You already know how much I love your particular clip. Before we get there though, what we always do on Collider Ladies Night is we play Dicey Questions, and then we have a little bit of a career overview conversation so you could learn a little bit about their journeys to getting where they are today. Jen, you're the first up on my list here. I was revisiting our Ladies' Night conversation for Peacemaker Season 1, and there was something that I wanted to follow up on. You had told me that right before your 17th birthday, you moved out to LA, and when you got there, the situation wasn't quite what you imagined, and someone even flat out told you, "I don't know that there's a place for you here." Do you remember the very first thing that happened that made you believe to your core that that wasn't true? Something that happened that made you feel like, I am here and I belong?
Wow, that's such a good question. I think he said Ooh, I don't know what I saw in you, but I'm not sure, there's a place for you here. And I was devastated because I was so young and I had never even considered that was the case. I'd never even considered oh, maybe this isn't a place for me. I was just so young and hopeful and excited to start this new journey. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. It's such a great question, but I don't know what my answer would be. And I think it might be that I still don't know if I have ever. That's so sad to hear me say that in an honest way, but I don't know if I have ever experienced something that's made me feel like you deserve to be here. You have made it. So I feel constantly lucky to be doing this and to be working next to people like Danielle and hopefully you two beautiful ladies someday. I mean, I just feel so incredibly lucky to be doing it. And I guess it's the fans, really. It's like when I have a woman, specifically a woman, walk up to me and say, wow, your character, it means so much to me. It gives me strength, getting to watch this strong character on screen and seeing you play her so well, that gives me all of the validation I need.
I appreciate the honesty. It's a thing every single step of the way in this line of work and probably many others out there. It's, grabbing onto a little bit of confidence and a little more every single step of the way. Yeah. Also, a big reason why we do Collider Ladies Night is to show people that they belong in this industry. So please give a big round of applause for someone who very much belongs here. Sarah, I mean that sincerely. I kind of want to open up a somewhat similar idea to the full group. And Danielle, we had a conversation about this fairly recently, so I do know what your answer could be. But can you each recall a time when someone in this business, especially early on in your careers, saw you and gave you an opportunity when you needed it most?
I do remember who we talked about.
Yeah, and I think some of you might share an answer too.
Wait, then maybe I don't know.
You know. Only I know. This is my little secret. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Okay. We're on the same page. I just had to make sure. But for me, and first of all, just going back, yeah, it's not luck, honey. You earned it. Period. Okay? Period. But I, too, have felt that way in pretty much the same time period when I was like 17, 18. But I had run into an actor right when I graduated Juilliard, and the actor wasn't as big as an actor as he is now, but that was Colman Domingo. Yes. Holland and Domingo, who played Mr. in Color Purple. But at the time, I had just graduated college, and I saw him at Signature Theater on 10th Avenue on 42nd Street. And I just had to go up to him, and I had to say, I just am so inspired by you. And he just asked me my name and what I did, and I was telling him, I was like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done stepping into this industry, and I don't know if there is a place for me in this industry. And he just poured into me and encouraged me and said, there is a place for you. You can do this. And I'm telling y'all, I had every odd job you could imagine, okay? But a few months later, I had booked Orange is the New Black. So sometimes you do need that, thank you, that little encouragement. And I'm grateful for my brother, Colman Domingo, for that.
Yeah, it's hard to say because I am still so early on in my career, but I think like a lot of actors in this industry, imposter syndrome, I related so much to what you were saying, is very common amongst actors and actresses. I, of course, was very excited getting cast in Wicked, but once the excitement kind of set in, I immediately got into a similar headspace of oh my gosh, do I fit? Do I really fit? Why me? Things like that. Because I obviously know there's so many talented actors and actresses out there, actresses specifically who auditioned for the same part that I did. But it really is just knowing and that so much care, one, went into Wicked, and if it wasn't right, it wouldn't have been me. But also, just the people that I surround myself with continuing to encourage me and really be my cheerleaders. My dad is, both my parents are, but my dad definitely is one of my biggest cheerleaders. I had went to a performing arts college, and one of the classes was a film class, and for one of the projects we had to create a little short film or something or another. And I created it and I showed it to my dad, and he was like, "This is really good." I was like, "Yeah, sure, it's whatever." And I was proud of it, but I was submitting it just to the class, just for the assignment. And my dad had ended up submitting it to a film festival. I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever," not thinking it would be accepted, and it was. And so I don't know. I think it's a thing of like keeping those around you that truly believe in you and are gonna hype you up when you need it, when you don't necessarily always believe in yourself.
Yes. I was a scammer when I was in New York.
Yeah.
And
wait a second.
Yeah, I was scamming.
What
I
were
was
you
scamming.
Tell
I was
me
a
something.
scrappy theater artist at Temple University. I was there with Quinta Brunson and Davine Joy Randolph. And Davine and I used to scam. And so essentially, we would go to Broadway, and this was kind of my first foray into improv, because we didn't have any money for tickets. And so we would just go see Passing Strange with Colman Domingo, and we would just pretend we were from anywhere, British accents, accents from down south, and be like, "Oh, we just don't know where the tickets are." I don't know. Full-blown anxiety attacks. And we would get in to see these shows. One time I scammed my way to go see Fela with Patti LaBelle, and I lied and said that she was my aunt, and I flew in to see her and where my tickets at. And so they put us in the orchestra, and at the end of her final number, she came and kissed me on my forehead and gave me the look of like, "Don't you ever try this shit again." And I think having that delusion is the reason I am here right now. Okay? I am the product of incredible, iconic Black artists. It's not just one person. There were so many artists that have poured into me and they've been praying for me. And so when the moment of Ghost happened, it was just a celebration for us all. Colman is the only reason I got to LA, because I did a production of Barbecue, another scam. I saw an Actors Access, okay? That they were doing a play called Barbecue, and I was like, "I know that, I saw that in New York. I'm gonna audition." Took Spirit Airlines to LA from Chicago and just waited in front of the theater because I didn't have no place to stay. I was so broke. Waited in front of the theater, and one of the staff comes in. They said, "Ma'am, do we need to call the police?" I said, No, I'm here to audition." I walked in, I memorized the entire script. I didn't know what the sides were gonna be. I didn't know what, I just knew whatever part they wanted me going for, I was just gonna do it. And I remember meeting Colman Domingo and Robert O'Hara in the room. They said, "Hey, your name is not even on here." I said, "Yeah, my agent, man." No agent. No manager, okay? They said, "Where do you live?" I said, "I live in Sherman Nyes," because I couldn't remember Sherman Oaks and Van Nuys together. They said, "Okay, Sherman Nyes, get to it." I said, "Well, what part do y'all want me to go in for?" They said, "What about Barbara?" I said, "Great. Do y'all have any scripts here that I could do?" And I did the scene, and Colman was like, "I don't know how you're gonna be in this play, if it's gonna be an understudy or what, but you just gotta be a part of it." And so that was the show that ended up getting me seen by the casting directors for This Is Us, for then Young Sheldon, and now still in the CBS family for Ghost. And so thank you, Black people.
I also want to say thank you, Black people, because you're teaching me something right now that I need to learn about.
A lovable scammer, not for harm, but for good, okay?
I need to learn how to scam, I guess. I don't know, that's just, it's the confidence that you have. I mean, I aspire to be you.
Great story.
For me, it's pretty simple. I don't know if this casting director would remember this. It was so many years ago, but I had auditioned for something. I couldn't even tell you right now what it was. But it was for a casting director named Barbara Fiorentino. And you rarely get any response from casting directors. It used to be much more common that you would get a response from casting directors than today. Now it's just kind of like you send in a tape and you you hear nothing, and you send in another tape, and you hear nothing, and you send in another, and you're like, is anyone out there watching this at all? But, you know, you used to get some response because you would go into rooms and actually meet people in person. You'd get a response in the room. Anyway, you were able to build more relationships at that time when the career was a little bit different. But at this time, I had a really nice relationship with Barbara Fiorentino. She brought me in a lot, and I was auditioning for some great role. It was a series regular in some show, and it wasn't going to be me who got the job, but she sent a really nice email to my reps and said, "Can you pass this on to Jennifer? I just want to say that she just needs to keep going. She is so good, and she's going to find her place in this industry. She's so good." And it's just like the simplest thing to keep you going, you know?
I also love a shout out to a good casting director who, whether you get the role or not, makes you feel seen and valued in this industry. Yeah. Going back to some somewhat early career questions, Danielle, you know what I'm going to ask you about.
I don't.
And the funny thing is, this randomly...
You can switch it up if you want.
This randomly came up on, I don't know if any of you went to the Twisted Metal panel the other day. Yeah, so you're going to know exactly what I'm referencing at this point. I asked this question to David Cornsweet at the Superman junket because you studied at Juilliard, and so, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So did he. So did Anthony Mackie. That's why we were talking about it the other day.
Anthony Mackie, yep.
What do you think it is about Juilliard training that tees someone up for so much success, specifically in the superhero genre?
They wear us out. That's what it is. They work us too hard. We give them all of our money. I think it's professionalism. I think it is taught because they do work us really hard. Being able to balance the drama and the comedy and being able to improv and do combat. But then there's things that you have to learn on the job. It's not like you're at Juilliard and they're harnessing you up every day. You know what I mean? So, what I do know I learned from Juilliard is that the work doesn't just stop once you get your diploma. It continues on. And I think we've all learned that without going to Juilliard or not. You know what I mean? The work continues. And I think that's what I've grown to learn even doing this. I'm very new to the comic book world, so even looking at the script, sometimes it felt like Braille. Like, what is this, because it's new. But the thing is, I think Juilliard did teach me to be malleable, and be able to shift and be fearless and just throw yourself into the work, even if you don't know exactly what you're doing. You have everything that you need at the end of the day. So that's what I think Juilliard's taught me.
Oh, I love that so much. All right, Danielle, I'm coming your way now to go back to getting cast in Ghosts, because you put in, we have established some of this already. You put in the work before you got that role. That marked your first opportunity getting to be a series regular on a show. What did it mean to you when that opportunity finally came your way? And specifically, what does it mean to you to get to do something like that with a character like Alberta?
Getting cast in Ghosts truly was an answered prayer. I had been working for 20 plus years as a journeyman actor on stage, and not cute stage, not Broadway. I was off Broadway. I was off Broadway. I was overseas doing festivals and fringes. I was in people's basements. I was taught by some of the world's greatest theater, icons. Anna Devere Smith is one of my mentors. I was doing documentary theater since I was 18, all the way until 2016. And I had this one-woman show called Body Courage, where I went around the world and interviewed over 350 people worldwide about how they felt about their body acceptance, and if they had one wish for their body, what would it be? And from those collection of interviews, I was doing it for 5+ years and performed 18 of them in the world premiere in 2016. And that was eventually the thing that brought me to Los Angeles, and obviously doing Second City and things like that. But TV, for me, I didn't feel like was an option, because I was so afraid of how I looked, to be honest. Being a plus-size black woman, I didn't really see, people that look like me. And I'm gonna just give you your flowers, Danielle Brooks, because seeing you on Orange is the New Black, that was like, maybe I can do this too.
Thank you, sis.
Maybe I can, because you were so beautiful. And so just, it was a master class all those seasons. You are just incredible. And seeing women like Danielle, I said, well, maybe this could be an avenue for me. And coming to Los Angeles, it wasn't easy. You know, I would be in an audition with an original cast member from Living Single and somebody who won the Cinnamon Challenge on YouTube. You know, it was just no rhyme or reason. But I'm so grateful for my community. I'm so grateful for, you know, my husband, Jack, who is here, that supported me through thick and thin. And also for CBS, because they saw something in me in young Sheldon. They said, you know what, we want her in Ghost too. I put Ghost in the middle of the pandemic. I was at home baking banana bread like the rest of us. And I didn't even know if the industry was coming back. And this was before the vaccines had came out. They said, we want you to audition for Alberta and Ghost. I said, we're back. And so my audition was on Zoom. And I remember I was with Joe Port and Joe Wiseman, and I went full out, because I was in my kitchen doing this audition. And so I said, you know what, she's from the 1920s. I'm gonna do a little faux fur. I'm gonna wear a little hat. And I would never do this in the real world. And I remember I did the audition, and they called my manager. They said, hey, she gotta take this hat off. It's too much. I said, okay, well, I guess I lost it. They said, we're gonna call her back, tell her to do less. So I came in, did the callback in my little hood Van Nuys apartment. And I remember—
Don't you mean Sherman Nuys?
Literally Sherman Nuys. And it really was giving Sherman Nuys job, because we was in the— And so I remember I did the audition, and I messed up on the last line of the sides. And they said, okay, well, we think we have what we need. And I said, no, y'all don't. I said, y'all don't. And I would never have advocated for myself if I was back, you know, in an audition room. And I said, let's do it again. Because something was like, this is going to be the thing, Danielle. This is it. And so they said, let's do it again. And so then I was able to improvise and have fun. And then it became a work session. And then that Sunday, I was on a Zoom call with my best friend, Lanisa Renee Frederick. We have a page called #booked on Instagram. Yep. And my manager said, hey, I'm in Sherman Nuys. I said, what you doing over here? You from Santa Monica? Because you know, you don't go all the way down by that side of the 405. And he said, come outside. And he had his mask on, I had my mask on, and he threw me up some champagne chocolates. He said, girl, we did it. That man has been repping me since 2016. This was our first big win, and it meant so much that I can now support my mother, I can support my family, I can finally save for the first time in my life, that 7 to 10 million people would be seeing a Black plus-size woman on broadcast television. I mean, my life has changed. Alberta is the biggest blessing, a 1920s Prohibition era ghost, and yes, she is a hot mess with a heart of gold, but she's so much bigger than that. She is our ancestors, and that's what I'm doing every time I step into that role. I'm trying to pay homage to them. So it is the biggest blessing of my life, and I'm so grateful that we get picked up for season 5 and 6.
Oh, so well-deserved in every respect. So from first series regular to first feature film, and you don't make a bigger first feature than not one, but 2 Wicked movies. I'll save my for good question for later. But first, jumping into such a big production for your first feature film, what single piece of advice did you get that came in handy the most? And then coming out the other side, what single piece of advice would you give to another actor about to jump into their big first blockbuster like you did?
Yeah, going back to the whole of me doubting myself and like anxiety thing, like Cynthia is really good at just, one, connecting with people, but reading people like a book. And so I think she saw me in my head, because sometimes I can't always hide what's on my face. And I was definitely in my head for a scene. And she's like, you don't need to do that. And I was like, but how? And she's like, just breathe. And sometimes it's so simple, but really is a good reminder. Sometimes you do just have to take a few deep breaths if you're getting overwhelmed. And I really did appreciate that. And then I guess a piece of advice that I would give to others is just create your own work and your own art. Work on the craft in just your own life. And have fun always while doing it. I know sometimes, like, the work can consume us, and we're so focused on getting it right or getting the best performance. But I think just remembering to have fun along the way when we can, and also just appreciate the little things along the way. I think that's what keeps me, anyways, passionate about doing what I do, for sure.
I want to follow up on one thing you just said. When you are not actively practicing your craft on a film set, what do you like to do to hone your art as an actor on the side?
Well, for leisure, and this has nothing to do with acting. This is something I can't shut up about talking about because I've become passionate about it. Scrapbooking. That is my new favorite hobby. I love scrapbooking. Acting-wise, I think just watching more things and looking at performances that really wow me and taking pieces of other people's performance and really honing in on what made that performance so great and taking that back with me.
I love that. What's the most recent performance you've seen that inspired you, and maybe you've back-pocketed something from it and plan to apply to a future role of yours?
Oh my goodness. You know, I'm a really big fan of horror. I recently just watched Smile 2, and I thought the performances were incredible. So I think just the lead actress, just like the subtleties and just the story of not being able to process your emotions and going from one thing to another, and just read so well on her face. I think taking some of those little aspects, taking that with me.
I am a very, very big believer that Naomi Scott deserved an
Incredible.
Oscar nomination. I'm dead serious for her performance in Smile 2.
I am such a believer that there needs to be more horror nominations at the Oscars.
Music to my ears. I want that so badly. Do you guys want to see some clips and stuff? Do you want to get first looks at a few things? So the very first thing that I have queued up here, we haven't fully emphasized this, but Danielle Brooks is here doing double duty. Of course, you're here celebrating Peacemaker, but there's another animated movie on the horizon, and studio might have sent over a very fun clip from The Bad Guys 2. So let's roll this. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. I got 2 questions inspired by that clip. First, I want to know about finding your kitty voice. Is there a particular, maybe even like a specific sound or a tone that you did and you're like she's there, that's what I need to lean on?
Yeah, first of all, I was like, y'all know I'm a mush ball, so I'm like trying not to craft some animated clips. I'm just like, wow, that's so cool. That's my first time being a villain. You know, I've actually never gotten to be a villain, so to lend my voice in that way was really cool. But it's really challenging when you are blessed to, and there's champagne problems, to not audition for things, because sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, am I really the right puzzle piece for the picture? And so when they asked me to do this, I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't know, like, what kind of voice they're expecting. You know, I actually, playing a kitty, I cannot purr, believe it or not. Juilliard did not get me to purr, okay? So I was really nervous, you know? So, but then, like, you get with the director and the producers who are so great, Pierre, Damon, all of them, and it just starts to click. You just take your time. And for me, I did want her to live in a lower register. There was just something about the bass and the alto tones that really just sang to me. And I was like, this is it. But then there's times where she will climb up when she's getting really into the heist and getting excited. So it was a lot of fun to be a villain. So, you know, if Adebayo turns really, really bad, I wouldn't be mad at it.
I don't know about that, but I very much enjoy seeing you go villainous in The Bad Guys 2. You're very good at it. So in that clip, we see you with the lollipop. I want to know some tools that you have in the sound booth while you're doing your recording, because there's also a table on the side, and I want to know what assortment of things you have over there.
I'm the little diva.
Did you
Just
bring a
little
cat?
I did not bring a cat. You would have brought a cat, maybe.
I mean, then you don't have to meow.
That's true. Very true. Thank you. You're right. Next time, I am bringing a kitty cat. But for me, I do have my little array of like mangoes. I have to have my dried mangoes. I have to have my fruit. And then I have to have my honey with tea, you know, and really not even tea. Just give me some hot water. These are my needs, okay, everybody? These are the needs of Danielle
I like
Brooks.
how you said, I need to have some honey with tea.
Yes, because most of it is just honey, just like. But so yeah, those are some of the things that I like to have with me on set. But the lollipop was provided by DreamWorks, and they made sure. And I can't tell you how many of those suckers I popped, but it was a lot.
Goes back to our earlier question. I mean, not that a lollipop is a meal, but there's a good thing to
that was a good one. Yes, that was, lollipops. Yep.
So we're going to take a big leap with clips right now because I feel like there's no good segue from The Bad Guys 2 to Peacemaker.
Well,
but
I feel like a good segue is that she mentions in that clip that that this is finally something that she can share with her daughter, and Peacemaker is not one of those things.
I was so curious to see where you were going with that. I love it. In that case, let's roll one of two clips we have from Peacemaker Season 2. Oh, I cannot wait to see more of that dynamic and then some. Danielle and Jenn, I'll throw this question to both of you. It's a big two-parter to kind of lean into how your characters have evolved. Can you each tell me something that stayed consistent in terms of how you approached playing your characters from Season 1 to Season 2, but then also something new you had to do in Season 2 in order to be able to lean into where the storyline is taking them?
Interesting.
Ooh. You go ahead.
Gosh, I was hoping you would.
Okay.
No. Okay. Yeah, go first.
Well, when we first meet Adebayo, she really is kind of all over the place. She's trying to figure out her place in this 11th Street Kids. She's flustered half the time, you know, really just all over the place. And then through the conversations that she has with the other characters, you know, and building that relationship, she gains her confidence. And, you know, she gains so much confidence that she ends up ratting out her mom. And when we meet her in Season 2, the one thing that I think has been consistent about Adebayo has been her optimism. There is just something about her that is like, I don't know what I'm doing, as most of us actors we've been talking about today. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to believe that this thing is going to happen. And I think that's where we meet her at the top. And I'm not going to ruin anything for y'all, but I think out of all of the characters in the beginning of Season 2, she's the one that's holding on to optimism. And what I do see in her is that she's more comfortable in the group. Like, this is her family now. You know, this is her tribe. And so she wants the best for every last one of them. So I feel like that's what's giving this season for her, the heart.
She can't go villainous. I love those qualities too.
Well, you know, James Gunn is a mighty fine writer. I don't know. You never know.
In James I trust. I like that heart.
So, you know, I think one of the really cool things about James as a writer is that he really does want to see his characters evolve and continue to grow in different ways, whether that's growing in a positive way or regressing. And, you know, I think Peacemaker's character's kind of grown in a positive way in certain ways from Season 1 to Season 2. Danielle's character definitely has I think found her voice in some ways, found a strength. And my character, not so much. My character was sort of the put together, very capable and reasonable character in Season 1, and through the course of what happens, she almost dies in Season 1, and she loses her job because of something that Adebayo does at the end of Season 1. And so in losing her job, and I think probably through the experience of almost dying and being in one of the most vulnerable places she's ever been in her life. I think what happens for her is she hardens even more. And so she regresses in a certain way in season 2. And so we get to see how that evolves. What stays the same for her is definitely that she just doesn't shy away from being honest, and she's hard. She's a hard person, and so that remains. But I think that one of the biggest things the biggest challenges I had in dealing with how she changes in season 2 was physical for me, because I really wanted the character to believably as just she's just a human being. I mean, for anyone who hasn't watched the show, she's not a superhero. She doesn't have any powers. She's just a regular human being who's very capable. She's a fighter. She knows how to fight. I was very fit in season 1, but I wanted to look like I, went through rehab after almost dying and really just got really strong so that she could never be taken advantage of again. And I wanted her to really, truly look like she was strong enough to beat up a lot of large men. And so I really worked on building muscle mass, which is something I've never done in my life. Like, I wanted to look bigger than, and so that was a really interesting challenge, and making sure that she physically looked like she could do the things that she does was really fun for me.
I'm eager to see you in action in that respect. The first half of your answer, though, teed up this clip quite perfectly.
You're welcome.
I cannot wait to share this second clip from Peacemaker season 2 with you. You are on fire in that clip. I have to know, is a scene like that being adjusted on set at all? Are you sticking to the script, or are you getting to play with it?
Gosh, I really don't think this is not one, like, James is as Danielle knows very well, he's very well known for sort of improving, throwing you lines on set, and just say, oh, say this, and usually he's laughing through it, and so you're like, wait, what? I don't know what you just said. But no, I think this stayed almost exactly scripted as it was, in the original script.
It's so sharp. The timing is perfect.
It's editing. It's not me. They edited it very well.
Oh, please. If we learn anything today, it's that you have to give yourselves a whole lot of credit, because you deserve it. Next up, we've got a little clip from Ghost. I knew exactly what I wanted to ask you today, and when the clip came through, I was so happy that the two things paired together. Let's check out a scene from season 4 of Ghosts.
Patience, honey.
It so well highlights how good you all are at jumping from the heart to the comedy and back again. I love it. There's so many ways that I'm looking forward to seeing Alberta evolve in season 5, but like one of the biggest things, without a doubt, is the kiss she finally shares with Pete. We've been waiting for it for so long. Yeah, we can clap for that. What was your reaction when you first heard that was finally going to happen, and how do you think in season 5 that's going to change how she carries herself in the house?
First of all, Richie Moriarty is an incredible Pete, and I'm so excited that I get to play season 5 with him and in this really beautiful relationship. Alberta is in her soft girl era, okay? She's dated all these bootleggers, and we had Lamorne Morris, who was also a fling of hers, who was in the Negro Baseball League. And I think for her, which I also identify with, is I used to find toxic men so exciting. Like, I needed that dopamine hit. And Alberta, she's dated murderers, and she may have murdered a couple people herself. But someone like Pete is really going to cut through that vulnerability in a real way. And I think she was like, you know what? I deserve peace. I deserve affirmation. I deserve love. But I am so excited to see how this evolves in season 5, because it's going to be tricky. Because Pete is the nicest of all of the ghosts. He is truly the moral compass of the show. And he's dating a murderer. you know? And so I cannot wait to see how this flourishes, and I'm just really excited to be on the ride.
So excited to see what you two bring out in each other. In the
Can I
show.
just also say, Bad Guys 2 has a shout out to Ghost. Just I think it's safe to say that. So yeah, I just wanted to tell you that.
This was meant to be. This group was meant to be on this stage together. All right, now we have a clip from my favorite movie of 2024. Let's check out Marissa in Wicked. It's so hard not to want that to continue. I just want to hear you sing. I'm also really eager to see more of your character in the next film, Wicked for Good. Like many people out there, I've seen that show on stage more times than I can count. What can you tease about how you maybe evolve the role of Nessa in a way that not only will surprise people, but might actually bolster her arc in the second film?
Yeah, there's of course a time jump from the first film to where we are at the second film, so there's a lot of time for people for a lot of growth or not growth, depending, or growing in different ways, I guess I should say. A lot of witchiness to be had, a lot more to come in those regards for sure. And yeah, this really is the effects of everything. Of course, that happens in the first film, but especially towards the end of the first film, all the effects of what happened in that last scene definitely come to a height in part 2. And I'm so ready. I'm so excited.
I'm so pumped. That character's journey, it feels like, I don't know, in one role, you're going to get to show off so much range, and I can't wait to see it happen. I am going to end with this particular question. If you watch Ladies' Night, you know that recently I've been ending every single one. I am fairly certain that none of you have been on the show recently enough to get this question, and given a lot of what we've been talking about today, I'm especially eager to pose it to all of you, because I think you all should answer it, because I believe in you all so much. So in film and television, we give each other awards. I think that's great. I think we should keep on doing that. Nobody in this business tells themselves good job as much as they should. I want you each to tell me something that you accomplished on your respective TV show or movie that you know you're always going to be able to look back on and say, you know what, I am really proud of what I did there.
I just recently won an NAACP Image Award. This is the award I wanted for playing Alberta on Ghost, who is such an integral part of the Black community. It's the award that I've wanted since I was a little girl, and it truly was a highlight for me during this hiatus. And so that's definitely something I'm very proud of this year, for sure.
Wow. Wow. I feel like I should jump in here. I feel like this question was directed towards me specifically. I think, gosh, honestly, I don't have a problem being proud of myself and feeling like, you know, I've done a good job. I feel that about myself a lot. I actually have a lot of confidence in myself. It doesn't necessarily mean that I feel like I belong, but I have one scene, particularly in this season 2 of Peacemaker with John Cena, and I am really proud of it. I think it's a really beautiful scene. I'm proud of John in his the amount that he's grown as an actor. He's just such an incredible actor. I hope someday he is rewarded and awarded in some way for how great of an actor he is.
Second that.
And so, yeah, I'm so incredibly proud of that scene. It's in episode 6, and maybe you'll probably know what it is when you watch it. If you do watch it, I hope you do.
If. I'm counting down the seconds.
Okay, I'll jump in here. Let's do this. For me, I'm just proud of balancing everything. You know, I love my work. I love being an actor. It gets me up in the morning. It is my heartbeat. It is everything to me to be a storyteller, to collaborate with other artists. I love it. But what I have come to realize, it cannot consume me. Because it will eat you up. Yes. Yes. And what I do know is I am blessed enough to have a daughter and a husband and a community and a family, and it is tough sometimes to juggle everything. So for me, keeping all of the balls in the air, I am very grateful for that. And I think, you know, as artists, we don't know what each other are going through on a day-to-day. So showing up and being confident and positive and with a smile and coming to work still with that fire in my belly, I'm very, very proud of that.
This definitely also kind of teases part 2 a little bit, but in terms of scene work, there's a lot of intensity, of course, in the second film, also in the first film, but in the scene work that I did in the second film, a lot of intense scene work. This is me calling myself out in terms of like attention span, and sometimes I do have TikTok brain in terms of short attention span, but I really stayed very concentrated doing a lot of that scene work and really was in the zone, and just on top of like obviously like having very high expectations for myself, I really, really wanted to put my all into it. And I really do feel like I did. And I'm really proud of the scene work that I put into Nessa in For Good.
I love it. I'm so excited to see. We have to wind this down. Just to take a brief moment, because we were talking about personal cheerleaders on this panel, I do have a couple of friends in the audience that I'm really happy are here. There's 2 people I need to shout out right now. One is standing backstage over there, and his name is Paul, and he's probably one of my biggest cheerleaders, and he's a big reason why this panel happened. So thank you to Paul, and also Adam Martinet. Adam's somewhere here. Adam has edited every single episode of Collider Ladies Night for 3+ years now, and the show also would not exist without him. To the 4 of you, I have to say thank you for carving out the time to do this. It is so important to me to bring these types of conversations to a place like San Diego Comic-Con. And again, this could not happen unless you were willing to give your time, so thank you. And now, so we promote their work properly, The Bad Guys 2 arrives in theaters on August 1st. Keep an eye out for Peacemaker Season 2 on HBO Max on August 21st. Look out for Ghost Season 5 beginning October 16th. And then Wicked for Good hits theaters nationwide on November 21st. Thank you for being here. Congratulations to all of you.